Today would have been Nolan Wells' 19th birthday. His family released a letter honoring his legacy after he was found dead following a 4th of July trip with friends. The family writing in part, quote, "As we sit here and reflect on what an amazing kiddo you grew up to be, we can't help but to feel blessed, honored, proud, but most of all thankful. Thankful we were able to experience a glimpse of God's love in human form. Although you are no longer physically here with us, we will always celebrate you and the legacy you have left for us to protect. You have taught us so much about life and how every day is a blessing and how we have to do better at just living in the moment," unquote. Our hearts go out to Nolan's family. May his memory be a blessing. Aaron Burnett Out Front starts now.
Out front next, the breaking news. America's debt just hit $40 trillion, an all-time record that has been soaring. But you wouldn't know about it from the president, who's giving a tour of his latest project at the White House. Plus, more breaking news, a political earthquake in Trump country. CNN projecting a Democrat as the winner of a special election in a district Trump won by almost 20 points. That Democrat will be out front tonight. And RFK has a new cooking show. He promises healthy meals at low costs. So, are the promises adding up? Let's go out front. And good evening, I'm Aaron Burnett. And out front tonight, we begin with the breaking news. The U.S. debt now at $40 trillion, an all-time record and a bad record. No one should be happy about it in this country. Whatever your political persuasion, it's not a good thing. Trump did not acknowledge it. Instead, he wanted to talk about something else, his latest renovation project. This time, specifically, it was the driveway at the White House.
We got rid of the asphalt here, and this is granite. It's called a flawless granite. We get the best stuff. One thing I know how to do is build. And so we put a brand new face on the front of the White House on the ground. The cars will pull up, and this is what you'd have, as opposed to the asphalt, which was literally, they had potholes in it. It's ridiculous the way this place was taken care of. Nobody, including other presidents, they didn't see it. But I see it because I was very good at real estate, like maybe the best in a lot of ways. And I love construction. I love seeing things properly taken care of.
From there, he went on about the new helipad that's under construction at the White House as well.
I felt it was too much slope. It's a slope for the rain, but I felt it was too much slope. And again, this is mostly going to be for helicopters, a lot of years. With the bigger helicopters, the more powerful helicopters, literally this grass would be ripped out by its roof and by its roots. And in one landing, the entire grass was gone. So now with the helipad, we won't have any problem with the grass.
Trump, look, $40 trillion of debt, but look, we all like good grass, and Trump really seems to care about the grass because he's redoing it too.
This has all been redone. It's all been topsoiled. In other words, we put topsoil, brand new earth on top. Lot of good ingredients in that earth for grass. If you're grass, you're very happy.
It's a lot of detail. Trump likes to talk about that detail, about his projects at the White House and across Washington, right? Reflecting pool, other things. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman told Axios that 70% of President Trump's mind share, maybe plus or minus 5%, goes to his gilding, construction, renovation, renaming, and tribute projects. And a Washington Post analysis found that, I think Maggie's spot on, Trump talked about his construction projects 79% of the days in the month of June. Nearly 4 out of every 5 days of the month. That's what he talked about. Obviously, you've got an affordability crisis. You've got $40 trillion of debt, something everybody can agree is a really bad thing. You've got a war going on. You got a lot of things going on. But, we're talking about these other things. And the project that Trump talks about the most, actually, if you look at it, is the ballroom. And he did bring it up again today. But there was a bit of a twist.
Right over there, if you notice, is where the ballroom and military complex will be.
So it's not just the ballroom, it's the ballroom and military complex. Now, it did not start out this way, okay? Trump has talked a lot about this ballroom. A lot of airtime has gone to this. And here is how he's described that project. When it first came out, he was very specific. Here he is.
We are going to make
and build a ballroom.
We have a beautiful ballroom.
A magnificent ballroom.
And a big a ballroom. Beautiful ballroom.
But something happened along the way. Public opinion soured. People did not like talk about the ballroom. They did not like it. It seemed self-serving. It seemed pomp and circumstance. They just didn't like it. A recent CNN poll found 58% of Americans were dissatisfied or angry about Trump's projects, his pet projects overall. So it shifted. It became not just a ballroom.
It's a very military complex.
It's a tremendous military complex.
A beautiful military complex and a ballroom combination.
That's an interesting rebrand of the ballroom. And part of the reason for this may be because the ballroom is tied up in the courts, which have said the construction needs to stop this week. But according to the New York Times, Trump has enlisted a team of 250 workers to push ahead with the construction 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, to complete as much work as quickly as possible, basically to make the argument that the project is too far along to be stopped at this point. By the way, how much does all this cost, right? All this fancy granite and the grass and all these things. The project itself, the ballroom, could cost taxpayers nearly $1 billion. It's just $1 billion, right, that America doesn't have, right? Back to where we started. The national debt just reached $40 trillion. Kristen Holmes is out front live outside the White House. And Kristen, the U.S. is in the middle of a war, midterms less than 3 months away. Is there anyone telling Trump that focusing on these pet projects the way that he does might not be the best thing?
Republican advisors, White House officials, allies, just Republicans running for office, re-election in the fall, have all been begging the White House, begging President Trump to stay focused and stay on message. They don't want him talking about the war. What they want him talking about is affordability, is the issues that Americans every day care about. And that is something that they have brought in new people to help kind of try to guide the messaging. But what we've seen so far is that this is what President Trump wants to focus in. This is what he likes. One of the things that he said today was, "I love construction." That's not the first time he said it. We also know he is intimately involved in all of this, despite the ongoing war, despite the fact that his poll numbers are in the tank right now. He is talking about, when he was out there today, covering up potholes, where stanchions were going to be placed, the exact specific type of granite. We know that he has had conversations on the ballroom in between other meetings that he is having about policy or about the war. So right now, President Trump just can't seem to help himself when it comes to these pet projects. And it clearly is part of what he believes his lasting legacy will be on D.C. But I would also argue at this time that if this war continues on the way it is currently going with no end in sight, that's going to end up being what his legacy is.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Live from the White House. And Patrick Murphy and Adam Kinzinger are out front now. Patrick, the national debt hit a record $40 trillion tonight. The president responsible for more than that, more of that in his terms than any other, of course, is this one. You've got the war going on, and yet Trump, you can see how much he enjoys talking about those other things. He knows the details. He likes the details. He likes talking about that. 70% of his mind share, 79% of his talk time in the month of June. What does this say?
I mean, this says that he cares more about the reconstruction and renovations than he does, Aaron, for our foundations and the path that he's putting our country in. The Big Beautiful Bill is an example that added $3.4 trillion toward that. $40 trillion. That means every man, woman, and child in America, including our kids, owes $120,000 to that national debt. And every year of that $40 trillion, we spend $1 trillion on the interest of that national debt. It's not good. And he's focused on these renovations as compared to the foundation. He's focused not on the 50,000 troops that we surged in the Middle East, 18 of which gave the ultimate sacrifice. Not on the affordability crisis, where a gallon of gas is about $1 more than when he took office to now. And not on helping everyday American families, because now they're struggling at their kitchen tables about what's going on in America when he's focused on ballrooms.
And the types of granite. I mean, he was talking about the driveway, Adam, and I played a little bit of what he had to say. But he had a lot more to say when he was talking about it with reporters today. Here he is.
It's a very strong stone. It will never break. It will never leak. This is the highest quality stone you can get. It has a 1,000,000-year life. Can you imagine that? It's really pretty amazing. And it's a very special stone.
Adam, Adam, we live in a different world than we lived in not long ago, right? So people, pay attention to what they want to pay attention to, right? But how odd is it to hear this from him right now? Just all the other context is they
Yeah, it's crazy. But listen, I want to posit another theory on top of all the why he focuses on this. So obviously, he's a builder, he wants to leave a legacy, all that. But I also think, have you ever sat at your desk and you had so much to do that you pull out your phone and start scrolling Instagram, right? Or, you do something that is because you just feel so far behind that you revert to the one thing you can control, which is scrolling through Instagram. I also see that, by the way, I've seen that in military leaders, the ones that do things like focus on whether you've shaved close enough or what your uniform looks like are the ones that are actually the worst leaders for the most part, because they have to retreat to what they can control. And I think there's part of the president right now, he'll never admit it, he may not even consciously realize it, but part of him is out of control, recognizes he's losing this war that he promised was already over. The economy's in a bad place. The national debt, we could literally zero out the military. People need to understand this. We could zero out the United States military and everything we spend on foreign aid, and we're still in a deficit like greater than we've been in for the vast majority of our years. And I think he's just reverting to what he can control. He's out of control. I can control putting a new helipad in. The other weird thing is just Trump actually thinks we care about his comfort, right? When he had this new bribed jet from Qatar that came out and he took everybody on a tour and they sent out pictures of how plush it was. I think they literally think we're going to be impressed that the president lives in comfort. That is the opposite of what the United States of America was founded on. We don't have a king. We want the president to be well-fed, well taken care of, well protected and comfortable, but not to live in plush surroundings. And I think they've completely lost the plot here, which is why he's at a 33% approval rating.
And look, you've got all the the kind of the gold gilding, right? As Maggie said, talks about the gilding and things like that. That's part of the entire decorating, right? And he's very proud of that. You're also a former prosecutor, so I just want to ask you about something I mentioned there at the top of the show, which is that Trump has this 250-person crew working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, to basically get this ballroom so far advanced that the argument they're going to make to the court is it's too late. It's too late to stop it. Yeah. Does that, is that actually going to work legally, if not logistically?
Yeah, let's just backtrack real fast. He did this without going to Congress, which has the power of the purse, right? So he went around Congress, and then he got sued for doing basically this unconstitutional act. The lower courts have said, Mr. President, you can't do this. Appellate court said you can't do this. Go now in front of the Supreme Court. What's he doing? He's saying, hey, all you guys, 250 folks, 7 days a week, as you mentioned, 20 hours a day. The reality of it is they've already knocked down the East Wing. His arguments in the court filing was it's 65% complete. So they can't rebuild now the East Wing, et cetera. So we'll see what the Supreme Court will say. That they'll make a statement shortly within the next couple of days. But the reality of it is, Aaron, it's a distraction. Adam and I served in Iraq, both of us. We've lost 18 men and women already in the Iran war, which is a war of choice. The reality of it is that we have a president that is asleep at the wheel.
So Adam, there's other comments as well, okay, that were a little odd today. So we're talking about the appearance of the White House and the specific projects. But then he said something else that I know stood out to you. I'll play it.
I donated the flagpoles, one on each side, because the White House didn't really have an appropriate American flag. It had a small one on top. We left that, but it didn't have an appropriate American flag. And this is a great pole. This is the top of the line. It's tapered. This isn't a straight up and down job, which looks terrible, frankly. That's a tapered pole. Great. I'm very good at flagpoles.
Adam?
Look, I don't mean to laugh because he is literally the president of the United States and makes key decisions for, my 4-year-old son's life in the future, our life and everything else. But honestly, and I'm not saying this is a gratuitous hit. I just mean it. Like if you were sitting down with your uncle or your grandfather or your parents and they were talking like that, you'd start to ask some follow-up questions to make sure they were okay. It's just we're in this weird time where we've grown numb to this kind of stuff. The obsession with the tapered flagpole, the, you know, where you land your helicopter, his plush. We've become so numb that we're not thinking about it. But if you would transport each of us from 2018 to this moment and play those sound bites, we would think we were in Bizarro World or Earth 2 or something that's not real. And the sad thing is, as my friend Patrick said, there are people right now on overseas on the Lincoln that have been there 250 days that are working their tail off for the American people. And you have a president that doesn't seem to be taking this very seriously. And that's what breaks my heart, I think, more than anything.
You know, Aaron, Adam's point is right on. The fact is this, is that we both served in Iraq. We both wore the flag on our shoulder and our uniform over there.
Yep.
The flag is always going to be stamped in my heart. We love our country. But patriotism is not about the size of your flagpole. It's what are you doing for the families, for that flag that flag represents. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to see out of the White House in Washington, D.C. We're not seeing it right now.
Thank you both very much. I appreciate you. And next, new details about Trump's assistant as we hear more from Natalie Harp in her own words. Plus, breaking news, a major upset in Trump country. We are just projecting this, that a Democrat is going to win a special election in a district that Trump carried by nearly 20 points. That is a stunning turnaround. The winner is our guest. And breaking news, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle making a surprise move, going back to the UK. After all that, why now?
Set bump. Studio's clear. You can break cameras 2 and 3. Stand by brake master. In 3, 2, 1. Effect. Roll your brake, please.
Where do the negotiations with Republicans stand right now?
Do you think that ICE should be abolished now?
There are a lot of people who are very concerned.
What's the most important thing that you want these lawmakers to know?
You are the Speaker of the House. There is, in fact, a lot you can do.
There does seem to be a reckoning beginning to happen on Capitol Hill.
We're going to really go inside politics here. Buckle up.
Inside Politics with Dana Bouch. Weekdays at noon on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
We're going to do something that's never, ever been done. If you ask the right questions and you ask the right people, you can end up in places you've never dreamed of. God damn, that's good.
The Detour with David Chang premieres September 20th on CNN and next day on the CNN app.
Here's what you can find out front, direct and raw. Okay, now we hear the sirens getting ahead of the biggest stories and giving you context.
How important is this moment?
Aaron Burnett Out Front, weeknights at 7 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
I grew up skateboarding. Yeah, I still skate. It's weird though, because I'll just look around and realize that I'm just hanging out with a bunch of 14-year-old boys. First time I ever got condoms, I bought a 48-pack. You know how depressing it is the day you graduate high school to throw away 47 condoms?
Now I'm known as the greatest. Like saying, any city, any town, I came to shut it down.
Go handle your business. It's bigger than this. Whole world watching.
Championship level fights every month on TNT.
Who thought a show about O.J. Simpson pranking people would be a good idea?
The prank show was a front to try to get O.J.'s confession.
O.J. Unseen, Exploitation of Evil, an ID documentary event, September 7th on ID.
I am giving away a room makeover. You ever have somebody come home with you from the hardware store? There's a catch, though. 3 days, you have no say in design, and we start today.
All new Crashers, Monday at 10 on HGTV.
I've been many places, I've seen many things.
This is the best travel show.
Come on!
At your service, sir. Could I have a tip, please?
You let the white person in, and boom, it's a full takeover.
I'm not just a white person. I'm the whitest person ever.
CNN Business translates what you need to know.
We're going to break this all down for you
with deep dive explainers, exclusive interviews,
and in-depth analysis. Because your business is our business.
Bring your heritage, bring your culture, but bring an open mind, because it's America.
This great American story of adventure and exploration changed everything.
All of our ancestors made possible what we have today.
That sense of discovery is one of the best feelings in the world. Delicious.
I realize how nice it is to have the freedom that we have.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight. It's showtime. Get over here!
Tonight, new details about Trump's powerful aide, Natalie Harp. Maggie Haberman in the New York Times with new reporting on video they've seen of Harp at Trump's golf course in Scotland. Sprinting, the Times reports, great distances to keep up with Trump's golf cart. According to the Times, Harp then wrote a letter afterwards to the president in which she wrote, and I quote, "I also am sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. With all my heart, Natalie." Harp's role is central to Trump, and she is also in constant contact with foreign leaders and the gatekeeper to the President of the United States. Out front now, Maggie Haberman, the White House correspondent for the New York Times and also the co-author of the book Regime Change: Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump. And Maggie, you note in your new article that Natalie Harp never takes a day off, not even a Sunday, right? She is committed and she is indefatigable. How much does Trump depend on her?
A lot, and it's important to note, Aaron, in our reporting, that story was by Sean McCreesh, my colleague, and me. Jonathan and I have separate reporting in Regime Change just about how Trump views her, and part of it is, he will describe to other aides that, and said this during the interregnum period, that, everyone else will go off and make money, she'll never leave, that essentially she is the person who loves him as much as his wife and children, and she serves a specific purpose. In a White House, in a government, there are other channels, official channels of information. She doesn't provide him with his national security briefing, the presidential daily brief. She is not the White House staff secretary, which is supposed to be the last step for paper flow. She's not the press secretary, from whom certain media requests are supposed to come. She is a channel by which, as you said, foreign leaders try to reach him if they can't some other way. She is a channel by which he reaches people he sees on television, who he likes what they are saying, or that he will just send out notes to. She is with him so much of the day during those meetings, and she is talking to him throughout the evening about social media posts. So she is a specific channel of information, but she is one that he considers very important, and so do other people outside the White House.
So you've reported, you're talking about how she's by his side. She writes many of his tweets. The series The Art of the Surge showed some of this in real time when Trump was responding to Kamala Harris's speech at the 2024 Democratic Convention, right? So they put these images there. I'll play a clip.
How many people are watching?
Can we tell how many, Dan? How many people are watching?
She's talking about how great San Francisco was before she destroyed it. Do not limit access to birth control or IVF. That is a lie.
Well, we trust women.
I trust women also. And I will keep women safe.
Of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
She won't.
Maggie, you have covered Trump for a long time. His entire tenure as president, back when he was a businessman. Has he ever had someone who plays the role she's playing now before?
It's interesting. There are people who she reminds those who have been around Trump's world for a very long time of. He used to have this group of assistants/secretaries who would sit outside of his office on the 26th floor of Trump Tower. Some of them were very, very, very serious gatekeepers. Norma Federer was one, his longtime assistant. After that, Rona Graff. But there were a number of them, and he would refer to them as the girls. And so Natalie Harp has, in the observation of some people, taken over a similar role. role where she is sitting, not outside the Oval Office most of the time, but in the Oval Office. She sits off to the side next to the entrance to the exit to the colonnade and the Rose Garden. She has a laptop or she has a tablet, and she is there when he wants to go fetch papers. She, for instance, was the person who handed Jonathan and me a 2-pager when we were in the Oval Office for a fact-checking interview with the president in March of this year, in which a history buff compared him to the most powerful monsters and conquerors that had ever lived.
So, obviously she's got a position now of incredible power because, as you point out, it's not outside the Oval Office, it's inside the Oval Office. You've got world leaders that call her. But you report a few interesting things. One, she operates entirely outside the chain of command with all of that power and influence. So I'm curious, Maggie, from your reporting, what do other White House staffers think about her role? And given her access and all the places that she is and all the people that she is dealing with, does she have a security clearance? Has she been vetted given this role that she's playing in the government?
Yeah, our understanding is that she does have a security clearance, although precisely where that was in the process last year, everybody who came into the Oval Office, into the West Wing at a senior level, was granted a security clearance on day one temporarily. She then, our understanding is, went through the process. It's not exactly clear when, though. There's been some reports that there might have been a lag. She is not beloved by a lot of her colleagues. She does sometimes work through the process. There are people who will say that she, more regularly than she used to, will update colleagues on what she's doing. But there has been a lot of controversy around Harp's role for a while, and what it ends up being reduced to in the descriptions of some people is essentially a food fight. It's different than that. I mean, she is somebody who has a huge level of access to the president. He obviously wants her there, but this is a White House. This is not a campaign, and so this is going to raise different questions about who is around the president and who is working on the taxpayer salary.
Right. As you report, taxpayer-funded $150,000 salary as well. Maggie, thank you very much. Maggie Haberman there, of course. And how did Natalie Harp become Trump's closest aide? With all of this power and access, Kristen Holmes is out front.
I'm Natalie Harp, a formerly forgotten American from California.
Forgotten no more. President Trump's executive assistant, 35-year-old Natalie Harp, has been thrust into the spotlight after it was revealed she was one of a few aides that joined Trump on a secret flight out of Turkey. Harp is Trump's most devoted aide. She once jumped in the trunk of an SUV to ensure she would be able to be with the president for a court appearance when there weren't enough seats in the motorcade. She serves as a gatekeeper to the president, providing him with a constant flow of articles and social media posts. She has earned the title of human printer because she travels with a printer wherever the president goes to ensure he has whatever he needs at his fingertips.
It goes faster if you plug it into the generator.
And spends hours typing up his social media posts as he dictates them.
I will keep women safe.
Her loyalty surpasses politics. She says the president saved her life when she was diagnosed with bone cancer, citing 2018 legislation.
And I was watching and I heard the story of an incredible, unbelievable young woman who was battling rare bone cancer.
As I like to say, I'm not dying from cancer anymore thanks to President Trump. I'm living with cancer.
Her name is Natalie Harp, and she lit up the television screen like very few people I've ever seen do it.
It was her television presence that led to the president inviting her to speak at the 2020 Republican convention.
I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you.
Harp then worked briefly as an anchor on the ultra-conservative One America News Network, where she amplified Trump's rhetoric on elections.
It's like, if President Trump, who's the most popular president really in history, the most loved president, if they can rig it against him, what makes you think that all of a sudden you're going to win in 2024 if you do nothing on election integrity?
And bolstered his administration's work.
Just 1 year ago, the Democrats were the anti-vaxxers because they didn't want President Trump to get the credit for the medical miracle that was Operation Warp Speed.
Before officially joining his team.
He was my first exposure to politics, and I loved it. Like, this guy, he gets it.
Harp can often be seen in the background during President Trump's events, smiling at the president and nodding along as he speaks, always in his corner.
You picked us up, and you made us great again.
Kristen Holmes, CNN, the White House.
And next, an Air Force major detained again after calling for Trump's impeachment on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. His attorney responds. Plus, breaking news, CNN projecting a Democrat just scored a major victory in Trump country, winning a special election in a district that Trump won by an astounding 20 points. He's our guest after this.
The Green Lantern needs to be fearless.
The time has come.
Whatever happens next, don't be afraid.
We came to get it lit.
Four of the nation's top women's volleyball teams serve up an incredible one-night-only event.
We came to get it lit.
At iconic AT&T Stadium. Yeah. For the first time ever, Spikes Under the Lights, August 27th at 8 on TNT.
What's happening in the arena? I'll bring you the latest from the players who are actually in the game. Because I want answers, and so do you.
The Arena with Casey Hunt, weekdays at 4 on CNN. And watch on the CNN app.
Unhand me! Unhand me! What is this? What is going on here? I've done nothing wrong! I've done nothing wrong!
Impractical Jokers, all new Thursdays at 10 on TBS.
Join me live in Los Angeles for the latest stories and conversations as news breaks all around the world.
The Story Is with Alex Michelson, weeknights on CNN.
Get the Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max bundle, the best in entertainment.
So it begins.
Watch must-see movies, award-winning series, and iconic favorites with an ad-free option.
Go and get it.
Get the Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max bundle today.
It is about the football! Everybody's in the fight! Everybody's in the fight!
A lot of competitive play in the Big 12.
We play on TNT!
I've been many places, I've seen many things.
This is the best travel show.
At your service, sir. Could I have a tip, please?
You let the white person in, and boom, it's a full takeover.
I'm not just a white person. I'm the whitest person ever.
Every weeknight, we cover it all. Will you take this all the way to the Supreme Court?
I'm not refuting a syllable of what you said.
What do you say to people who are looking to find their voice?
Laura Coates Live, weeknights at 11 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
I get to call someone I've looked up to a colleague.
We're two former White House correspondents with a tireless work ethic.
We're ready for whatever comes our way.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer and Pamela Brown, weekday mornings at 10 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
There's no way to know where we're gonna land.
Penny?
Watch The Lead, weekdays at 5 on CNN and watch on the CNN app.
It is time to deal with Saddam Hussein.
The situation on the ground is deteriorating. Your mission? Find Saddam.
But why is it you have to go?
Nobody knows this guy better than me. We're missing something.
John, is it true Saddam built a network of tunnels under Baghdad?
That's him.
High-value target, The Hunt for Saddam, premieres September 13th on TNT.
Breaking news, a political earthquake in Trump country. CNN projecting just before we came on the air that Brandon Dukes, a Democrat, will win a Pennsylvania state House district that Trump carried by nearly 20 points in 2024. Obviously, that's a seismic shift. And Dukes is going to be our guest in just a moment. His win in this special election is sending shockwaves across the country. Pete Buttigieg said, quote, "This is a big deal. Brandon Dukes just flipped a Pennsylvania state House seat held by Republicans for almost 30 years. And the vice chair of the DNC, Malcolm Kenyatta, said this is a district that Democrats should not have had a chance to come within sneezing distance of. And from Congressman Ted Lieu, a member of House Democratic leadership, November is coming. And out front now in his first national interview since claiming victory, Brandon Dukes. And Brandon, obviously, we're just able to make this call. As I said, this is a seismic event. How does it feel to be told, you know, you've officially won this race?
Thank you for having me, Aaron. It feels pretty good, and it's still trying to grasp the whole victory that we had yesterday. So, yeah, we look forward to going to Harrisburg. It's definitely a good feeling.
I mean, so your opponent's mother told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette last night, quote, I'm really shocked, right, at how things were going down. And I gave the numbers, right? Trump won this district by 20 points. OK, so it's fair to say you're shocked. I mean, but are you shocked? You were the one out campaigning every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little shocked, but not too shocked, because we knew this district could be flipped. I ran for a supervisor seat last year in part of the district, and it was pretty much the same results that we got last night. So I had a feeling that this is a purple district, it's a swing district, and Democrats could definitely flip it in the midterm years. So, especially in a special election like we saw last night.
Right. So your boots on the ground. So you felt it was purple. Anybody looking at this district would have said it was bright red, right? 30 years and Trump winning it by 20 points. And I guess I'm curious as to what you saw there, because the DNC vice chair, and I just mentioned him a moment ago, Malcolm Kenyatta, also a Pennsylvania state representative, posted a long thread today. And he said that your victory, quote, in deep Trump country is the canary in the coal mine for Dems come this November. Winning here means there is not a single safe seat for the GOP. Now, again, interesting, you referred to it as purple. He refers to it as deep Trump country. So how do you see this, Brendan? Do you think that he has a point for the GOP, or do you think that what you're seeing in your district is very specific and unique to where you are?
I do. But one thing that's important about this district is that the demographics have been changing for the last few years. It's becoming much more younger and more progressive, so that worked in our favor. And like the vice chair said about being the canary in the coal mine, yeah, that's what I was. I went down in there and I ran and made it competitive and finally flipped the seat. So now it's safe to no seat is safe red or safe D, and we proved that last night. So, but every race is different, and this was particular because it was a changing demographic and plus a special election too, which helped us secure this win last night.
So you talk about the changing demographic, and maybe that's part of your answer to my next question, which is, what were the issues that motivated people to turn out? I mean, obviously, you're going to face the same opponent in November, right? You're going to run off again on this. But what were the issues that actually motivated people and got them to have this dramatic swing?
I think the overall issue that drove people to the polls were change, being a candidate of change. The district has had the same party representation for the last 30-some years, and we are offering them something different. Of course, affordability was an issue in the district with the cost of living skyrocketing. Public education was an issue on a lot of people's minds. And of course, it's such a growing district, population as well, that we have an infrastructure that's starting to become outdated that we need to catch up with. So those were some of the top issues that we ran with. Those are the issues that we heard from voters at the doors, and we promised to deliver on them, and it resonated pretty well, as we saw last night. So those are some of the issues that we ran on.
Yeah, well, I think it's really interesting what you list there, because what you said is really important. Some of the things that you didn't say that got a lot of discussion also are important, that those weren't issues. So a lot to learn there. Brendan, I appreciate your time, and thank you very much, as we've just been able to project that extremely significant win for Democrats in Pennsylvania. Harry Enten is here out front now to tell us something we don't know. So, okay, you heard what he said. He sees it as a purple district.
I'm not quite sure I see it that way, but sure, why not?
Okay, but so that was how he said, different than Malcolm, deep red Trump country is how most would see it. So I guess that gets to the way you are looking at it on the map. Is this an isolated incident, Or is this the start of something bigger?
I think it's, something bigger. One of the things that Mr. Dukes ran on, I guess now Representative Dukes ran on, was, the fact his working class upbringing, right? And what you see in sort of that district and what you see nationwide is Donald Trump won with white working class voters, right? But look at the switch that we've seen amongst them. I mean, he won them by 34 points. His net approval rating now is -4. He's underwater with the white working class. That's a 38-point switcheroo since the election. What's going on in that district, what happened in terms of another flip in Pennsylvania earlier this cycle, is emblematic in my mind of the group that has been the core of Donald Trump's support. Adios, amigos. Goodbye. See you later.
Okay, so this was a special election.
Yeah.
So I was just pointing out he is going to be facing the same opponent in November, right? So the special election, he's in office, but you could do it again. Democrats have been very successful in special elections this time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so some might say, okay, but then you got to run again in a few months, so what do I really read into it? You actually think that's the whole point, and it's very significant.
I think it is very significant because it's been a very unlucky 13 for Republicans. There have been 13 Democrats who have been able to flip districts that were formerly held by Republicans. Republicans have flipped zero in special elections. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that 13 is greater than 0. And more than that, if you go back over the last few cycles, 5 out of the 5 last few cycles in midterm elections, when a party outperformed in U.S. in special elections, state legislative, federal, they went on to win the U.S. House of Representatives. So this, to me, is very emblematic of something that could be huge come November.
Okay, tell me something I don't know.
I'll tell you something else that you don't know, Erin Burnett.
That's right. I didn't put the word else in there. You should have put something else in there. Anyway, I'll tell you else something that you don't know if we could put up the graphic there. I will tell you. There we go. Look at this. U.S. House of Representatives in Pennsylvania. Look at that. Again, talking about the midterm elections. The GOP won the U.S. House vote by 2 points back in 2024. Look at the 2026 polls. +9 Democrats. That's an 11-point swing. Again, last night, emblematic of a larger problem Republicans have in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. All right. Thank you very much,
Thank
Harry
you.
Enton. And next, new details coming in about Air Force Major Jason Watson, who was just detained again after calling for Trump's impeachment on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. His lawyers next. And RFK Jr. with the new cooking show, which promises low-cost, healthy meals.
So the servings of each of these, we asked to keep it under $5.
Okay. Does the math add up?
What has made it to your timeline?
Fibermaxing.
You're like, why is this here?
Tan lines.
How did we get here? I'm Audie Cornish.
And I'm Ari Shapiro. Let's invite others to the party.
Engagement Party. New episodes now streaming on the CNN app.
The Green Lantern needs to be fearless. Earth is now on the extinction list.
You're only going to get one shot at this. The time has come.
What if we can stop this? No matter how bad it gets. Whatever happens next, don't be afraid.
I've been many places, I've seen many things.
This is the best travel show.
At your service, sir. There's no way to know where we're gonna land.
Penny?
He is transcendent.
It is the biggest upset in sports history.
That was a win that was just so emotional. It's what sport was all about.
Decades in Sports, Sunday at 9 on CNN, and next day on the CNN app.
Roy, Amber, and Michael are back together
with some thrilling cinematic reveals.
Have I got news for you? New season premieres September 12th on CNN.
Tonight, new details about the detention of Air Force Major Jason Watson. Watson is the active duty airman who was arrested last month after calling for President Trump's impeachment on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. Watson's attorney tells Outfront that he was detained yesterday at Joint Base Andrews by Air Force security. And Watson is now being held, he says, in a county jail. He'll face a judge tomorrow. Now, the detention happened after Watson explained on this program his reasons for speaking out despite this great personal and professional risk.
Nothing that is worth doing is something that you can do for free. Everything that is worthwhile is going to cost something. We just have to be willing to accept that we can change what is happening in our country if we're just willing to pay a price for it. So all that I could do was ask myself, what's the highest price that I'm willing to pay?
Out front now, Chris Mutimer, the attorney representing Major Jason Watson. And Chris, a lot to ask you about is see, what you really know at this point. I mean, what details are you able to tell us about how Major Watson was detained?
Sure. So, as you know, he was on your show Monday night. After your show, almost immediately after, he sent a communication to his chain of command, letting them know that he was reporting in, letting them know where he was going. And if there was any questions that they had or anything they needed from him, he was making himself available to them. He didn't hear anything that evening. I think we all expected that he might have been arrested that night, or he would be, but he wasn't. He reported to duty the next day. And while he was, this is on Tuesday, while he was at work, he, through counsel, informed his chain of command that he would no longer be wearing his uniform. Shortly after that, he was told he needed to put his uniform on within about 20 minutes. My understanding is around 3:30, he was then arrested and he was brought to a county jail. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so he's in a county jail. I know you did, excuse me, have a chance to speak with Major Watson this afternoon. You know, what's the situation there in the county jail? How's he doing?
He's doing well, and I think one thing he wants his family and his friends to know that he's okay. He expected this. He has said this, that he expected to be arrested. He sounds good. He sounds healthy. He is aware that tomorrow there's going to be a detention hearing. Right now, we are waiting on the government to turn over evidence for this detention hearing. We have not received, at least last I checked, I've not received any exhibits for this matter. We have a team that is waiting for this so we can start preparing for the hearing tomorrow. But it seems to me that the government is dragging his feet on putting everything together. We're not even aware of what he's charged with yet. It's pretty ridiculous, if you ask me.
Well, so you're not even aware of what he's charged with. I mean, I guess, is that one of the reasons why you're saying the military's not been cooperative since his detention? I mean, I know he could face, and you said he's obviously knew what wants his friends and family to know. He expected this, but he could face court-martial, obviously dismissal from the Air Force, loss of pay, benefits, and incarceration in a military jail. These are all possibilities. Do you have a sense of what the punishment the military will seek is? And I guess that's the context of, but you still don't know what they're charging him with.
No, but I mean, based off of previous orders that have come from JAG, I would say we're expecting charges related to Article 88, which is contempt towards an officer, or Article 92, which is failure to obey, which would be related potentially to him not putting his uniform back on. He is facing significant jail time, possibly. He's facing discharge from the military. Depending how the government wants to stack charges or bring charges against him, we could be looking at serious jail time. And again, I just want to reiterate, he knows this. You know, he's been in the military for 17 years. Major Watson is someone who cares deeply about this country and this Constitution. And I think he said this on your show Monday, and I thought it was beautiful, is that he knows people right now are scared and they're worried. And they are in a situation where they don't know what's going to happen as a result of this administration. And he wants people to know that they're not alone. And for people who may ask, why did he take his uniform off, or why is he not willing to take it? You know, I can't speak for Major Watson, but what I can say is he has a deep, deep respect for that uniform, and he definitely has made it clear that he did not take an act to go out and protest and ask for an impeachment of the president, hoping other people would copy him. He is taking an action because he believes someone needs to do that, and he doesn't want anyone else in the military to have to do that. He knows this may have offended people, people who are currently serving or who may serve, but I believe that what you saw when someone, if there's a reason why he might not wear that uniform, it's because he wants to show a commitment to that uniform and respect for it.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you very much. And we're going to be watching tomorrow, of course, that crucial hearing. So thank you for joining us tonight. Ahead of that, and next, RFK Jr. with a new cooking show, a show about cheap, healthy meals. But do the claims of cost add up? There's an investigation. And Prince Harry and Meghan are now going back, quitting California, going back to the UK. Why now?
With my FICO, I get easy access to credit reports, 24/7 monitoring, and alerts for my FICO score changes.
Other credit scores can vary as much as 100 points from your FICO score. Get your FICO score for free today at myfico.com/free.
New plan. Hey Google, what's the fastest way to the pier?
Twelve is one, okay? It's a relentless attitude. We coming back next year. Let's do what we do, baby. Let's spin. Let's go.
We got to get this on camera right here.
You guys ready? There's no way to know where we're gonna land.
What just happened? I don't know.
We don't know what's out there.
I don't understand. No one understands. You get any of that?
I got the gist.
The Green Lantern needs to be fearless. Earth is now on the extinction list.
You're only gonna get one shot at this. The time has come.
What if we can stop this?
No matter how bad it gets, whatever happens next, don't be afraid.
I've been many places. I've seen many things.
This is the best travel show.
At your service, sir. Could I have a tip, please?
You let the white person in, and boom, it's a full takeover.
I'm not just a white person. I'm the whitest person ever.
UK. But now we understand they are moving as a family to the UK, and that's because the children have been enrolled in school, which starts next month. We don't know where they'll be living, apart from the fact it won't be a palace, it won't be a royal residence, and the King, as I understand it, has made it clear yet again that the couple will not be returning to their royal roles. There is no way back in for them. I would think that Prince William feels even more strongly about that, and that he would have been consulted on that. And Harry and Meghan were actually over with the kids last month. They met the King and Queen in Gloucestershire at their country residence, but there was no discussion of it then. The King actually found out about it on Sunday. So this really does come out of the blue. As to why they're coming over, we're not getting any information from their office. They're not even officially confirming it with an official statement. They're not denying it either. Harry did want to spend more time here. Is it because California isn't working, or do they want the kids to have some time here and to experience British education? It's really not clear. And I'm not expecting a statement over the next few days from them either. So it's a bit of a mystery, and they kept it very secret.
Yeah, really stunning, especially given the context that you're reporting there. Max Foster, thank you very much. And finally tonight, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's launched that new cooking show, right? And it's been very specific, healthy meals under $5. Tom Foreman went out front to find out if that promise added up.
I'm traveling across America, connecting with renowned chefs to show families how to cook delicious, nutritious meals.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s new reality show pushes healthy, affordable eating with sides of dubious claims about the food industry's science and public wellness.
The dietary guidelines put Fruit Loops at the top of the food pyramid.
But it's also the math that doesn't add up in this cooking class, especially when the secretary and his guest chef whip up crispy salmon cakes with apple, white beans, and green salad.
So the servings of each of these, we asked to keep it under $5.
That's the pitch, and prices fly by, backing the idea of a family-sized meal for a bite-sized budget.
Fresh herbs are key for me.
I am on my way to the store. But when we started buying ingredients used in the show, even going for the lowest prices at a big competitive chain, the cost heated up fast.
25.
This was the cheapest frozen wild-caught sockeye salmon we could find, the closest to what they are using. They priced theirs at $8.99. The cheapest we could find, even with the deal from the store, was more than $24. Now, the greens mix, that was about the same cost. So were the eggs on a per egg basis, but that's the trick here, because they're only pricing that one egg out of the carton, and that gets worse with other things. For example, this red onion, they say they only spent 8 cents on this because that's how much they used. Getting the whole onion cost us more than $1. And look at this. This is the avocado mayonnaise. They priced this at 40 cents because they were only using a couple of tablespoons. To buy the whole thing cost us more than $11. They're only pricing parts of it. And grocery stores don't sell things that way. HHS insists this is standard recipe costing methodology, and they want to help Americans stock up on high-quality ingredients they can use across many meals. In any event, the recipe was not too complicated.
Here we go into the heat.
And it came out at home pretty much like it looks online. But while the show repeatedly says this dish will cost less than $20 to feed a family of 4, just getting all those ingredients into our kitchen cost a whopping $70.54.
Yes, it certainly is tasty and it appears healthy, but the problem remains. I do not see, having made this, how you can walk into a grocery store with $20 and come out with everything you need for this, making that part of the claim for many consumers, I think, very hard to swallow. Aaron?
Tom Foreman, thank you very much, and thanks to all of you for joining us. Anderson starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. A complete change of course for Britain's most famous royal exiles. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan, and their 2 young children, ending 6 years of self-imposed exile from the UK and their royal duties. They're returning to live in